Hello all, in this video we are going to see how to demonstrate a stacked bar chart and diverging stacked bar chart. So usually we have survey data, and for that survey data we will be using these two types of charts. So here I have three different questions. Do you want online classes? Do you like the weather outside? And do you like the food at a restaurant? Strongly agree, agree, disagree, strongly disagree. So normally when we take surveys, we will be having the questions. Sometimes it may not be strongly agree, are you satisfied or not, strongly or never satisfied, or always satisfied, do those things. I mean, these values may vary from survey to survey, but I'm using these. Sometimes you may have a 5 scale, which would be a neutral value here. Okay, so you could do any number of values, the process would be the similar. Okay, so for this, now I want to draw a 100% stacked bar chart. Okay, so for that, select the data, go to insert. You could do column or bar here. So we are doing 100% stacked bar. So 100% stacked bar is under 2D bar, you get 100% stacked bar there, 100% stacked bar chart. Select that. So now you get this. And you may say that survey responses. Okay, you would see here strongly disagree, disagree, agree, and strongly agree. And this is a little bit confusing. So we want to switch our axis so that we want to see based on the question. For that, what you need to do is select the chart, go under design tab of this particular chart, and then switch rows and columns. When you switch rows and columns, you would be able to see like this. So they're getting, do you want online classes? So people are doing like this. Responses are like this. So basically this is 100% stacked because you are getting the whole stack is filled. For example, if you notice here, we have 50% strongly agree and 50% strongly disagree, and we have none of them either agree or disagree. So even though it is still 100% stacked, okay, so which is basically to know the response, how the respondents are responding. Okay, so I mean, there are some disadvantages for this chart also. With those disadvantages, we will try to draw divergent stacked bar chart, which will overcome those disadvantages. So for example, I will keep this chart like this. And then if you notice, this is 100%. Sometimes you may not get 100% because if you have 10 respondents, and 10 respondents may not take the survey. Okay, so it is okay that you don't have this 100% here. So now I'm going to draw a divergent stacked bar. For that, we have to do a couple of calculations. I'm going to insert a chart here, which I'm naming it as some buffer. And this side also I need some buffer. Okay, so how I have to calculate buffer? So in the divergent stacked bar chart, we want to draw a 100% stacked bar which positions horizontally. So positive and negative responses are stacked towards your left, and negative responses are stacked towards your right side. Okay, so here we have to decide what are the positive responses and what are the negative responses. Let's assume these two are the positive responses and disagree and strongly disagree are the negative responses. Okay, for that, what we need to do is you have to write a formula: 100 minus sum of let me increase this a little bit so that I can see. 100 minus sum of all the positive responses, these two. 100%. 100% minus this 20. So basically what we want is my buffer and my positive responses should be 100%. Similarly, my disagree, which are negative responses, and my buffer should be 100. So that means what would be the value here? 100 minus 10 plus 10, which would be 80, right? So 100% minus sum of my negative responses. Negative, positive, you could define yourself, okay? So whatever is negative, whatever is positive. And just drag and drop here, you get 40, 50. And you drag drop here, you get 60, 50. So if you consider the first three columns, you should get 100. If you consider the next three columns, you should get 100% there. So basically we filled with the buffer, and again you can insert 100% stacked bar. So for that, go to insert. I'll show you another way that you can insert. So you could see here, see all charts, click on that, go to all charts, go to bar here, and here you would be able to see different bar, okay, which is 100% stacked bar. Yes, 100% stacked bar is here, okay. So in the last time we have switched our columns, right? So but here it's already showing you how you want to see. If you want to select this, select that and then switch columns and rows. But if you already select this, you don't have to switch rows and columns, okay. So that way you would be able to get this chart here, okay. So but what is the difference? Both are stacked bars. Now we have to convert this to a divergent chart. What's a divergent chart? In a divergent chart, if you consider all the positive responses, it should be towards your left side, and all the negative responses towards your right side. Okay, so this is I'm going to convert this to a divergent chart. For that, what we need to do is, this buffer data is extra that we have added. Now we have to remove that. So select that buffer. So buffer in blue and buffer in green, if you look at in the legend. So right click, go to format data series and go to fill option. Basically you have to select no fill, okay. And similarly the buffer here as well, do the same, no fill, and now you would be able to see this one. This is a divergent bar chart. If you want, you could remove grid lines as well, okay. So if you consider something like if you consider 50% as a baseline, and if it skews towards your left, that means that is more positive. If it skews towards your right side here, that's more negative. If you consider here, I have one data, one question that has 50 and 50. I wanted to put that, so that was exactly in the middle. Okay, so this is one of the charts that I like a lot. Whenever you have 100% stacked bar, you could always go with the divergent chart. If you do any kind of survey, then you have to always think about how you would represent the results in divergent chart, okay. And if you want, you could I think this should be good enough. I don't I mean, this is my perspective. I don't recommend to put the labels here because this is too much, and that too, you have buffer here. Buffer values are also labeling, okay. So I wouldn't put, but you could be able to see from this particular graph, you could be able to see which is positive, how the respondents reacted positively and how many respondents reacted negatively to this, okay. That's what you could learn from this. Whereas here in this chart, you may put the data labels so that you could see how you would be able to get it. So 0%, 30, 10, 20, 40, which is strongly agree to disagree from left to right, okay. So this way you could draw 100% stacked as well as divergent chart. Okay. Thank you for watching.